Malik, what are your general thoughts on where this one kind of got away from you guys a little bit tonight?
Just our energy level. Our energy level didn't match theirs. They were on the back-to-back too, so we should have played. We should have played harder than them, but that's where we went wrong.
Malik, are some of these lineups that you kind of see throughout these seasons? It seems like it's different almost every single night. Is that to be expected at this point? Do you kind of feel comfortable with some of these rotations that you have, or is it still kind of like anyone's guess as to who's going to be closing out at different times?
I feel like that's a Doug question, but yeah, I'm used to it because it's been happening a little bit this year, but I really don't know more than that. So yeah, I'll be used to it. So.
Malik, Dylan had a career-high 12 points tonight for his first double-double. Just how much is he figuring out that dunker spot, and you guys are figuring out a way to get him the ball there?
He ain't figuring it out. We telling him where no, I'm just playing. We watch a lot of film with him, and I be trying to talk to him as much as possible while he out there, while we in practice, to let him know that the dunker spot is going to be very well for him when Domas out there. And Maxie out there, it's going to be a good spot for him. But he want to learn, so he asks a lot of questions. He always comes to the bench asking questions. What can he do better? What he need to work on. So I like where Deal's game going.
You got 2 games back with Domas. I mean, obviously it was a 27-game absence for him. How do you feel like he's progressed in these 2 games since being back?
I mean, you can't really tell. When you've been out, how many games you missed? 27? You ain't gonna be able to tell out of 2 games. So he's been moving good though, moving good. Haven't been complaining about his knee hurting, so that's been good. And so he'll be all right though.
What are your thoughts on Denny as a player and what he does well?
On the other team?
Yeah.
He probably an all-star this year. He took his game to another level. He was playing good last year too, though, but this year he just took off. I don't know what it is, but he playing some good ball.
What do you think of his and a lot of their team's ability to get into the paint tonight, and how you guys could have slowed them down a little bit more there?
It's a good question. Hard when you got 3 or 4 guys that's putting their head down and going, especially when Denny get a lot of foul calls. Can't touch him that much driving. So they just a good young team, man, that put their head down and hopefully the other team don't stop them. And we couldn't do it tonight. Him and Sharp put a lot of pressure on the paint.
Just one more. Here you are in the midst of it. You had a 4-game win streak. I'm just wondering if this stretch of games, even maybe some of the games that you guys were having where Doug had talked about you guys playing better, does this kind of show you anything about, I mean, obviously it's not the season you guys want, but maybe this small stretch, is there anything that kind of pops from this?
It was possible last year at the beginning of the year. We seen that we could do it. But yeah, we just seen we could do it.
Yeah. Thanks, everyone. Thanks, Malik.
A little chippy with you and Klingon. Just how good is that for you to face that where things get a little rough and tumble?
It's great. Obviously, you want to up your physicality. You want to up your competitiveness. So all these kind of moments are good for your growth. Yeah.
When you came off the floor for that final time,
sorry, can you? Sorry, I don't hear you.
Sorry. When you came off the floor, kind of close to that final time, I know Doug had mentioned some things to you, and then Domas on the bench there. I'm just curious, maybe what the kind of overall message there was for you.
Oh no, I mean, just talking about keep pushing, keep chipping away. I think we made a little run in that beginning of the fourth quarter, and then Domas was giving me some advice on how to handle situation on the court. He's a great mentor, so he's always back there talking to you. So yeah, that's what it was about.
What did you think of Portland's ability to get into the paint tonight, and how you guys could have slowed them down a little more there? I
mean, Danny is probably the #1 driver in the NBA, I believe. they really strive of points in the paints. Obviously, I think at almost 20 in the first half, and then in the second half we tried different things. They found their bigs a little bit more. I think with a lot of shooters out, like Grant, for example, I think that's really what they try to execute in their game plan, even though I don't know exactly what they were going to do. That was what they were pushing for.
And Dylan got his first double-double tonight. How have you seen his touch around the basket grow throughout this year, and how closely are you guys working together on these things?
Well, first of all, that's awesome. I didn't know it was his first one, but I'm really happy for him. And those little hooks were awesome. I feel like earlier, a couple of games ago, he was turning down some of these shots. Obviously, he felt comfortable with them today, and I feel like the whole team was behind him for that. So it was really, really cool to see it. And on top of that, lately we've been playing a little bit more together on the court as well. So I think that's get us more chemistry and all the stuff with the with the Beam Boys at the end of the games. That's fun too. So really happy for him. That's awesome.
Who came up with the Beam Boys and the glasses?
I think all four of us were kind of just gathering there at first, and then I want to say Precious came up with the idea, and then Dylan just took the mic and called us the Beam Boys. So I guess we're just rolling with it from at this point. But we'll come up with some more stuff. More to come. More to come.
Thanks, everyone.
As a coach or just as a young player, how do you try to rein in some of those fouls and that foul trouble with him?
I think more than anything, you have to let him experience it, because he has to go past the limit and then let's reel you in, as opposed to someone who you're always trying to turn up to get to a limit. I have no problem with Dylan's fouls. I mean, I don't want him to be in foul trouble, but listen, when you go to block shots, when you go vertical 2 feet above the rim, you're putting yourself in jeopardy. So, any reaching, those type of things, those are the ones that are teachable. But him with the verticality and the physicality, we're gonna live with that right now, so he can learn where his line is at.
And then with Domas, just under 20 minutes there, is he on a minutes restriction, or is that just what you want to go with?
No, he's just coming back. This is just game 2. I mean, it's a process. That's all. Yeah.
Doug, during the 4-game winning streak, you guys were like as I mentioned the other day, number 1 in the league in 3-point shooting, over 46%.
Yeah.
Cooled off a little bit tonight. Was there any difference in the looks you guys were getting, or just kind of one of those make or miss things?
I would have to go back and look at the film. I mean, 35% for us, but we ultimately want to get towards that 40 number, 31. But, there was some red, switching, we call it red, but there was some switching. So 1 through 5, keeping people in front of you. Big guy was just in the lane the whole time. So, part of us generating those shots is the ability to collapse the defense. And, if he's just sitting in there the whole time, that can be difficult, because there's not the sense of urgency for them that we've created a 2v1, especially if you don't roll. So we got to set those screens, make sure the screens are set, create the advantage with the guard, roll extremely hard that puts pressure on him for them to shrink the defense and kick it out. Those were the shots that we were getting that, if I look at the film, we probably didn't generate enough of those tonight.
Doug, we all season we talked about the log jam at the guard position.
Yeah.
But with Dylan's play as of late, is it kind of a good thing or are you kind of getting a slight log jam with the bigs?
Yeah, most definitely. I mean, these are good problems to have, but his rim protection, his activity, his contesting, shots, especially sometimes if we're not containing people off the dribble, that he's back there to help you out. But now the guard's got to crash back at the same time and veer off into the opposite big. But his activity is high level, and that's what we want. And the rebounding, what did he end up with tonight? 10, too offensive, but, 6 fouls, like he's not leaving anything on the board, that's for sure.
Doug, building off of that, what went into the decision to end with Dylan in the final lineup compared to Domas?
Well, I think more than anything is the ability sometimes to switch 1 through 5. And, his activity and rebounding clinging is just an absolute monster down there. So you got to make sure that, you're contesting at the rim, like those 2 verticalities against Sharp. Like, it's not many people in the league that can do that type of thing. But, I mean, he is there. So, just trying to keep people in front of us and then rebound the basketball, and he was rebounding at a high level.
Second one for you was Malik pointed towards the energy and the difference in tonight's game. Would you agree with that?
Yeah, a bit. I thought the energy changed when Dylan went in the game in the first quarter, actually, and that's unfortunate because that's been one of the keys of what we've done is we've brought a level of physicality, which I talked about pregame, and joy, and that is kind of tied to the energy piece. And it wasn't there. It was there in moments, but it wasn't there at the consistency that it has been in, even in some of the losses, the wins for sure, but even in some of those losses.
Doug, I know you don't love to talk about offense, but 36 assists on Friday, 29 tonight, and both games, all 10 guys who stepped on the floor had an assist.
Yeah.
Are they starting to get it a little bit? And, I know you love to say sharing is caring.
Yeah. It's assists and the movement of the basketball shows that you care about your teammate because an advantage has been created. And there you are. I'm aware of the fact that you're there because there's 2 people in front of me. So where's the open guy? And they have to get the basketball. And if they're not ready to shoot it or there's a really hard closeout, then we need to go again and then we need to swing it. Those type of things, it's the ball has energy. And when it happens, it's first of all, it's beautiful. So let's say that. But also, there's an energy and a vibe with it that is an absolute must for this game. This game was created to play that way. And when it's not, it's A, not fun to watch, B, not fun to play. And I'd even add it ain't fun to coach it either. I want that ball moving around. I want people to create advantage. I want you to care about your teammate and move the ball, and not only move the ball, on time, on target passes. Like, pass it to your teammate like you care about them, and I want you to get this bucket. I want us to get this bucket. So, yeah.
What have you thought of Dylan's growth as a finisher around the basket, and how much are you encouraging him to take those shots?
I mean, he does a lot of work, man. Max down in the G League has worked with him. GA up here has worked with him. They do a really good job at making sure that he gets his finishes around the rim. And, we encourage him to, be aggressive. He understands sometimes he catches it in the pocket. He's a little bit outside of his range, and immediately he's looking around like, who needs this? I'm bringing it to you. And that ability to spray the basketball is high level, but he's going to get it better and better because the kid works hard. So he works as hard as he plays, which is makes you smile. I say that.
And then Portland's ability to get in the paint, they're one of the best in the league at doing that. What did you see with that tonight, and where you guys could have slowed them down a little more?
That part of that is the energy. We got to grab, hold, and control. We got to chest drives. I mean, physical chest. And that comes from making sure that your pickup points are higher, that you're meeting them higher on the floor, and we're in our gaps, presenting. Because part of it is, if your arms are down and it looks like there's a gap there, I'm going to test it. But if I'm presenting with my arms out, I look big, you think about it. So as good as these guys are at getting downhill, the next team is number 1 in the NBA. So we got our work cut out for us. Got to sit down and guard and be ready to be physical and fly around the floor.